Welcome back to the NFL today. We approach kickoff time in the Mile High City. Introductions live there at Mile High Stadium.
Broncos, number 74, Harry Swain. At tight end from Savannah State, number 84, Shannon Sharp. At wide receiver from Stanford, number 87, Easy Eddie McCaffrey. At running back from Georgia, number 30, one of the most prolific running backs ever, Terrell Davis. At fullback from Illinois, number 29, blowing the holes for TD is Howard Griffith. And at quarterback from Stanford, number 7, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, John Elway. Head coach Mike Shanahan.
John Elway, every game could be his last. Marino and Elway, it should be an epic battle. The AFC Divisional Playoff game, Miami and Denver. We'll be back with the NASDAQ MX Halftime Report. In the meantime, enjoy the game here on CBS.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Elway and Marino. Their names are synonymous with football brilliance. Two men who 16 years ago brought a new quality of quarterbacking into the NFL and have since become the most prolific passers in league history. If the eyes are indeed the windows to the soul, theirs speak volumes. Joy and relief in John Elway's eyes, an exclamation point to a Hall of Fame career. He has come back this year rejuvenated, poised for a second Super Bowl ring in what may be his final season. For Dan Marino, the look in his eyes is one of hunger and determination. He reached the Super Bowl in just his second season, but hasn't been back since. Now, with the clock winding down on his career, does he have the supporting cast needed to return to the championship game and to realize his lifelong football dream? John Elway and Dan Marino, two quarterbacks whose illustrious paths now cross in their first ever playoff meeting. A spot in the AFC Championship on the line today at Mile High.
Behind his blockers and coming down on the right.
On a sunshiny 50-degree day, we welcome you to Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, as the divisional playoffs continue here in Denver. The Denver Broncos playing host to the Miami Dolphins. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to electric Mile High Stadium. Along with Phil Simms, I'm Greg Gumbel. Yeah, it's electric. Why shouldn't it be? Two of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game will do battle again, and John Elway and Dan Marino, and for the second time in 3 weeks. And in that game on Monday night in Miami, won by the Dolphins 31-21, Dan Marino had things all his own way that night.
Well, Greg, we asked him, Dan, why did you play so well in that game on that Monday night? And he says, hey, I just made plays. I threw the ball very well, and my receivers made good adjustments to make those catches. That's what they want to do today. Now, on the other side, we asked John Elway, why did you struggle so much in that Monday night game? He says, hey, one reason why. Terrell Davis could not run the football, and when he doesn't run, that means our play-action passing game is not there, and it makes our offensive line have a much tougher time protecting me when I do throw.
Well, both teams anticipate a different sort of football game here this afternoon. What more could you ask for? Two of the great quarterbacks of all time. John Elway, Dan Marino will do battle when we come back right after this. Well, you can bet the Miami Dolphins are glad it isn't cold and snowy and windy. Temperature at 50 degrees. and the forecast is for sunny skies the rest of the day. Yeah, that man says, you know, we don't like the cold weather. We don't play in it. We don't know it. We don't do well in it. You've got to think he likes the way it is here. Mike Shanahan, all he wants is another crack at the team that knocked his guys off by 10 points 3 weeks ago down in Miami. The Miami Dolphins have won the toss, and they've elected to receive. Jason Elam, you see his numbers on the season. Deep for the Dolphins, 31, Brock Marion. Number 20, John Avery. Avery has returned 43 kicks for just over 25 yards a pop, and we're underway. This is Avery from the 1. Out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. And Dan Marino, more pass attempts, more pass completions, more yards passing, and more touchdown passes than anyone in NFL history. His offensive line, veteran left tackle Richmond Webb re-injured the tendon in his left tricep. Left guard Brent Smith moves to tackle. John Bach moves in at guard. In the backfield, Abdul-Jabbar and Pritchett. Ed Perry replaces the injured Troy Drayton at tight end. First down Miami from their own 27. Marino, quick pass, and dropped at the 30-yard line by O.J. McDuffie. And now the Denver defense, a tried and true front four in Smith, Traylor, Price, and Tanavasa. The linebackers, Romanowski, Kadrez, and Mobley are quick, and they are mean. And in the secondary, rookie strong safety Eric Brown, hobbled by a groin injury. 12-year veteran Tyrone Braxton starts in his place. Bernie Parmalee is the lone back behind Marino on 2nd and 10. And the give is to Parmalee across the 30 to about the 33-yard line, or rather across the 25 to about the 28.
Well, Greg, when you look at this Miami offense, the key for it today is, you've already talked about it, Dan Marino. They're going to run the ball every once in a while just to keep the Denver Broncos a little off balance, but it's about throwing the football and making those plays. Denver on the other side, they think the key is something they couldn't do down in Miami a couple weeks ago. Rush the quarterback, hit Dan Marino. He got good protection down there. That's why it was successful.
Pritchett and Parmalee are in the backfield now on 3rd and 8. Marino over the middle, incomplete. Pritchett had it and dropped it, and the Dolphins will have to kick it away. 2 dropped balls on Marino in that series.
Well, when you come into a game and you know you're going to have a chance to win this game, losing and winning depends on how you throw, and of course catching goes along with that. And the Miami Dolphins would have had an easy first down if either one of the passes would have been caught.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer will kick to Darian Gordon. High kick. Gordon from the 16. And dumped it down at about the 27-yard line, and a penalty marker is downfield. Penalty will be against the Broncos. Our official today is Bill Carollo.
Holding number 25 on the receiving team. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Darius Johnson is the guilty party, so that will back the Broncos up. And John Elway will start in a bit of a hole. Elway leading the Denver Broncos into the postseason for the 10th time in his 16 years. Up front, a steady veteran offensive line of Jones, Schlereth, Tom Nalen, Dan Neal, and Harry Swain. In the backfield, the NFL's leading rusher in Terrell Davis, and those 3 receivers accounted for more than 200 catches, more than 3,000 yards during the regular season. Line of scrimmage will be the 8-yard line. All of the Denver Broncos told us, Phil, that it was a very, very loud stadium down in Miami when they played on Monday night. It was reversed.
As loud as any place they said they've ever played in, which is a surprise when you talk about the Miami field.
Davis Squeaks through a hole up close to the 15-yard line. A pickup of about 6 on the play. A look at the Dolphin defense. The Dolphins front four racked by injury. Tim Bowens and Jason Taylor out. Baron Tanner and Shane Burton replaced them. The linebacking unit anchored by Miami's leading tackler, Zach Thomas. And in the secondary, Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison with 8 picks each during the regular season. Elway pulls it down, goes down the sideline. Rod Smith with the catch. What a catch over the defender by Rod Smith for a first down.
Good coverage by Sam Madison. He has Rod Smith man-to-man. John Elway pulls it down, and Rod Smith changed his route from a quick out, runs up the sideline. But look at number 29 where he is at. He is all over the receiver, and Rod Smith does a good job of going back, fighting for the football, and making the catch.
First down Broncos, their own 29. Davis, big hole left side to about the 32 or 33-yard line.
Well, when you look at this Denver offense, the key is, we know we talked about the game they played 3 weeks ago. We're asking Mike Shanahan. He says, look, it's this simple. They whipped our rear ends up front. Their 7 beat our offensive line. That's why we couldn't do anything. Now, Miami's defense, I look at it today, the big key, and Jimmy Johnson kind of agrees, Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison must be terrific so the other guys, the safeties and everybody else, can get in there and stop Terrell Davis.
Double tight end for the Broncos. Elway eludes the rush and was almost intercepted.
Wow. I mean, how many times, if you watch the Denver Broncos play and John Elway buys that extra time, moves around, that time it must have taken 10 seconds, but nobody looked down the field. Look here. Look across the field. They tried an out and up to the right to Rod Smith. He was covered, and John Elway panics at the last second, and he's lucky he doesn't throw the interception.
Robert Jones was the man who almost had it. He had 2 interceptions, returning 1 for a touchdown during the regular season. 5 wide receivers for the Broncos on 3rd and 6. McCaffrey across the field. First down yardage. Terrell Buckley and Brock Marion rode him out after about an 8-yard pickup.
Well, this is the formation that's kind of hurt the Miami Dolphins defense over the last couple weeks. 5 wide receivers, and this time the Dolphins play it pretty conservatively. Don't take a chance. Look at it. It's kind of a zone coverage. Ed McCaffrey comes underneath. Everybody else is looking for the deeper route. Gets enough yards for the first down.
Line of scrimmage is now the 41-yard line. And Terrell Davis is to the lower part of the field as a wide receiver. Elway complete to Shannon Sharp close to midfield.
Well, Shannon Sharp didn't have much of a game against this team earlier 3 weeks ago because the Miami Dolphins, they double covered him almost every single play. But you can see what they did that time. They put him in motion, brought him into the formation, and when a receiver moves, it's much more difficult to cover him, and it's really harder to double team him.
Zach Thomas in on the tackle, no surprise there. You see the distance to go for a first down. Terrell Davis is going to get that and more. The 40 and out of bounds inside the Dolphin 40-yard line.
Let me tell you one of the big keys here. Good blocking by the offensive line, but what you notice too, look to the screen here. Kenny Mixon is down at the bottom of your screen down here. He gets caught on the block. Now this is where they miss number 99, Jason Taylor, because he is nothing but about speed, getting off those blocks and making those tackles and keeping those long running plays from happening.
That defensive front four losing a lot in Jason Taylor and Tim Bowen. First down from the 39. The toss to Davis. Turns the corner. Inside the 30 and out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
Let me just give you a look, Greg, and everybody at home, what this defense is about for the Miami Dolphins. Here are the corners. Look at this. They're man and man. They're just going to run all over the field. And these two safeties, they're free to come up and make the tackle. But look, Terrell Davis does a good job, makes that dip inside, and it made Calvin Jackson hesitate. Then Terrell Davis breaks it outside and gets the good gain.
35 yards for Terrell Davis. He only had 29 in the Monday Nighter at Miami. Elway going to throw. Over the middle, has his man, Rod Smith. Smith close to the 15-yard line.
We have already seen more successful, like, fake or play-action passes in this game than they ran 3 weeks ago. Rod Smith coming across the formation, nobody covering him. But because you run the football, that enables John Elway to get outside the pocket and gives those receivers that extra time to get open down the field.
10th play of this drive. Derek Lavelle dancing inside across the 15. You know, this Miami team hit hard by injuries. Jimmy Johnson told us last night that this is the most number of significant injuries he's ever been involved with as a coach.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, just everything, you know, the defense, key players on offense, but he says, hey, I don't care. We still got a chance. He's got his team believing. Don't worry about these injuries. Don't worry about the fact that we're going there. All these things, just go out and play, because you did it 3 weeks ago. We can do it here.
5 wide receivers on 2nd and 8. Elway over the middle, complete to number 84, Shannon Sharp.
Well, I tell you, good job that time by Calvin Jackson reading John Elway, makes the big hit, and a good job of hanging on the football when you're going over the middle, getting hit that hard too.
You know, talking about those injuries, when we asked Jimmy Johnson, well, you know, how does that affect you? He said, you know, I think if we play lights out,
we can keep it close. You know, his goal is
78 right here.
He doesn't think it affects, just keep it close. Let's get in the 4th quarter, then we can make some plays to win the game.
3rd and short. Davis diving for first down yardage and has it. The orange line across your screen, the CBS first down marker, tells you how far the teams have to go to reach a first down.
Well, you know, you talk about those injuries, Greg. Really, the big thing is Tim Bowens is a big run stopper inside. And what he does, he occupies blockers, and he lets those linebackers for the Miami Dolphins run around. Now, when you put the substitutes in, if they don't occupy those blockers, then Zach Thomas and Robert Jones and Rodgers can't run around and make those tackles like they're used to.
First and goal, Elway to throw into the end zone, incomplete at the goal line, and a penalty marker is down. Marker is down on the near side of the field, and it's against Miami.
Looks like offsides against the Miami defense.
Offside, defense, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance to the goal penalty, remains first down.
91 is Lorenzo Bromell. Meanwhile, those first 10, 12, 15 plays that Mike Shanahan scripts for the game have worked well so far.
Well, they have. We're seeing a little bit of everything. You can see that big card. Look at it here. There's different colors on it. And that tells him which people to send in the game. And of course, he can read the play that's already written down.
Davis to the goal line and stopped short of pay dirt.
Now, you can already tell in this game, this Denver Bronco offensive line doing a much better job than they did 3 weeks ago. A little more physical, occupying the defensive linemen, letting Terrell Davis get that speed going and getting those positive yards.
Denver has held the ball almost 7.5 minutes. 2nd and goal. Davis, touchdown. 23 touchdowns on the regular season, 21 of them rushing and 2 receiving.
That drive just epitomized what this Denver Bronco team, what it's been about for the last 2 years. That's about lining up our offensive line and then Terrell Davis really doing the damage.
92-yard drive, Davis accounting for 38 of them on the ground. Elam's extra point is good. Denver had scored only 6 points on 2 field goals in the first quarter over the last 3 games. They get a touchdown here from Terrell Davis and take a 7-0 lead. John Elway just had a little extra tape applied to his left ankle. He led the Miami scoring drive, 92 yards in just under 8 minutes, and scoring first is big on the Broncos list of important things to do. In the end zone, Avery drops the ball, and now Brock Marion covers it. It'll be a touchback. So on the virtue of Terrell Davis's touchdown run, Davis has already had a better day today than he had all Monday night in Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Chrysler, engineered to make great cars. And by the United States Army, be all you can be.
Mentioned a short while ago how scoring first has been big for the Denver Broncos this season. On opening drives, 54-9. That's called getting a leg up early on in the game. And now the fans come alive again. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the backfield behind Dan Marino. And this is Abdul-Jabbar. A yard, maybe 2 on the play. We said earlier it's an electric atmosphere. What's it look like to you downstairs, Armin Katsayan?
You know, Greg, the big theme behind the scenes this week for the Broncos has been playing at the tempo that they haven't played all year, showing the world what playoff tempo is all about. So far, I've seen them, 6, 7, 8 times this year. They're moving from point A to point B faster than they have all year. Steve Atwater called it playing on cloud 9, and right now they're on it. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thanks. On 2nd and 8. Movement on the offensive line. The left side of that line where Richmond Webb is missing today.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 61, illegal snap, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's the center, Tim Ruddy.
Little flinch, you know, he's like, oh, was that on 2, Dan? Are you sure? It must. Are you sure you said 2 in the huddle? Yes. You know, you got the crowd noise going. That's why the Dolphins, they got to find a way to get a first down, settle the defense down to the Broncos, and especially the crowd.
Miami Dolphins did not have a penalty in their victory over the Broncos. Out of the backfield, Abdul-Jabbar. Jabbar across the 20 for a pickup of about 4.
You know, it was a lot of fun last night talking to Jimmy Johnson, Greg, and the one thing he said to us that made a lot of sense, he stressed to his players all week long, okay, we're going out there to play all that. He says, we got to beat these guys with our base stuff on offense and defense. And listen, my coaches, I've instructed them, we're going to have a nice wrinkle, a couple little things in there to change it up, but what we mainly got to do, physically win the game with what we've been doing all year long.
Jimmy Johnson is known for little things like that onside kick he pulled at Buffalo last week. 4 wide receivers. Marino just barely beats the play clock. Quick pass is complete across the 25, and that's short of a first down. Pick up a 5 on the play to Oronde Gadsden.
Well, the one positive thing I can say about the Miami Dolphins offense in these first 2 series, they're protecting the quarterback well. So that means Dan Marino is going to have some chances as this game goes along to throw it down the field and have success.
Darian Gordon standing at his own 30-yard line. High and short, fair catch called for by Gordon, and he lets it bounce at the 35. And the ball doesn't go any further. Bounce at the 35, down at the 34 for a 38-yard punt. And we'll take time out and come back to Denver right after this. Back at Mile High Stadium, 3:20 to play in the first quarter. Broncos with the ball in a 7-0 lead at their own 34-yard line. Elway throwing. McCaffrey. Caught it. And he is ruled down inside the 35-yard line.
Boy, good job by Ed McCaffrey getting up and running just in case that play was not blown dead. But really good coverage on this play. Watch McCaffrey go up the field. Brock Marion has him on the outside. There's a safety coming from the inside. The perfect throw and way to lay out to make the catch.
34 yards on the play. And a first down at the 33-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Davis, hole left side, inside the 30. Meanwhile, modern day technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it, Phil?
Well, it is. Look what we picked up in the first drive. John Elway, watch his hands as he's underneath the center. The hands don't move, it's a running play. Now watch when it's a pass. He rubs his fingers together, drops back to pass. And then another time it's a play action pass, rubs those fingers, fakes it.
Well, that's not something that's easily detectable by the defense.
Unless you're laying on the ground looking up underneath there, you're not going to see it.
Inside 2 minutes for the first quarter. McCaffrey in motion. Elway over the middle, and wide open is Terrell Davis, who loses his footing near the 20-yard line.
Now, the one thing I've noticed, so Greg, even that play that Ed McCaffrey caught down the field, they're moving their wide receivers, trying to give them a chance to get away from the defensive backs of the Miami Dolphins and to get better matchups. If you saw the last time when McCaffrey went in motion, he was against a safety and not Sam Madison.
Elway now 7 of 8 for 88 yards. First down from the 20, and a double tight end setup for the Broncos. Davis, right side, room to run, cuts it back, will go for the touchdown.
Well, the Denver Broncos, they're known for this play. Take the ball, pitch it to Terrell Davis, and what he does, he takes it straight ahead. But look at that, as soon as he sees a hole, he gets right up into it, and what a nice cut that time by Terrell Davis.
Sam Madison saw the cutback, couldn't react to it in time. Touchdown, his second of the day, Terrell Davis. Elam is right on the money with the extra point. 1:02 to play in the first quarter, and it's Denver by 2 touchdowns.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by American Express. American Express helps you do more. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
These terrific pictures from on high being provided by Southwest Airlines. Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, the Broncos have already amassed 155 total yards. John Avery trying to light a spark under the Miami Dolphins. Avery 5 yards deep, will not run it out. And so the Dolphins will start first down from their own 20-yard line, and the Bronco crowd is up and excited.
The Denver toss. Terrell Davis does such a good job with it. What they do, they toss the ball to Terrell Davis. He wants to take it outside, but if there's nothing there, look inside, and he breaks it up in there. Terrific block by Tom Nalen and Mark Schler at the left guard. They opened a hole for Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis named today the MVP of the National Football League by the Associated Press. 2 touchdowns. And the Broncos lead at 14-0, and now Marino goes to work, and they'll start on the ground. Bernie Parmalee for no gain. Well, Bill Romanowski, number 53, has really had an outstanding year. This time in the middle, coming on the blitz. Trying to guess at his pass on first down, but the Denver Bronco defense, nothing like they were 3 weeks ago against this Miami offense. Much more aggressive, trying to take it to the Miami Dolphins.
From the shotgun, Marino. Great catch across the 40-yard line for a first down by O.J. McDuffie. 21-yard pickup. And that will most likely be the last play of the first quarter. Denver held the football for just over 10 minutes in the first quarter, and Miami just under 5. That's the end of the first quarter. Broncos lead at 14-0. We're coming back to Mile High Stadium for quarter number 2 right after this.
Watch O.J. McDuffie. Here he is, lines up and just goes down the middle of the field. Tyrone Braxton in there faking the blitz, but look at how much space in the middle of the field against this Bronco defense. And this is where Miami really hurt them 3 weeks ago. And to be successful, that's the coverage they see a lot of. Dan Marino's got to throw it down the middle with success.
Now their first down of the ball game as we start the second quarter. Pritchett and Parmalee are the backs for Marino. That's complete to Oronde Gadsden.
You know, that time John Mobley was in position to knock the ball down. He reached his hand up and it went by him, and he went, man, how did I miss that? Dan Marino still got that arm. The Dolphins going to a hurry-up offense, no huddle. I think it's a good thing to do right now. Change the pace of the game.
Their second first down. And stacked up at midfield is Bernie Parmalee. Keith Traylor, number 94, led the charge for Denver, and that's a 4-yard loss.
Now, just because you hurry it up doesn't mean it's going to help your running game any, that's for sure. I mean, I think the Miami Dolphins, they really struggle, and Keith Traylor, number 94, big, strong, kind of slanting to the left or to the offense's right, makes the tackle in the backfield.
Call it a 5-yard loss, and it's 2nd and 15. Over the middle, complete, across the 40, and down to the 36-yard line is Stanley Pritchett. Remember, in the first quarter, he dropped one just like that out of the backfield.
You know what I like, Greg, though? When you're going to win a football game, what's your objective as a coach? Put the ball in the hands of your best player. That is still Dan Marino for the Miami Dolphins. So Jimmy Johnson, let him go with the no huddle, spread the field a little, and just try to make those plays.
Marino looking at a 3rd and 2 now. And they're going to keep it on the ground. Coming this way, first down yardage, and breaking across the middle again is Bernie Parmalee.
Boy, good job by Bernie Parmalee breaking those tackles, and so many times they're still in the hurry up, just lining up. What this does, it just kind of keeps Denver from making substitutions, and you hope it makes them play a simpler defense.
Another first down for the Dolphins. And movement on the right side. This play will not count as penalty markers fly.
Well, the question was the defensive line in the neutral zone before an offensive lineman moved?
Prior to the snap, false start, 5-yard penalty on the offense. The left slot man moved before the snap.
The left slot man.
Well, that's a new position, you know, that left slot.
Do you draft for that?
Yeah. Got to have a keen eye for talent, but the crowd noise, you know, you're going to get about 4 or 5 moving penalties on offense when you go on the road in a playoff atmosphere, and especially here in Mile High Stadium.
Second penalty of the day against the Dolphins. Marino with time has his man inside the 20 and out of bounds close to the 10-yard lines is McDuffie.
Now, it's a good job of throwing and catching by Dan Marino and O.J. McDuffie, but really, this offensive line, Richmond Webb is out. You know, they had to restructure it. Brent Smith didn't get to take one snap at left tackle the whole week, and what a job he is doing so far protecting Dan Marino.
First down, Dolphins at the Denver 12. And the marker flies before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the right guard, Kevin Donnelly.
What did I say? 4 or 5? Let's rephrase that. We might get about 8 of them in this game.
Maybe you meant 4 or 5 in the first half.
Yeah, maybe in the first half. But Denver, one of the reasons why teams have been throwing the ball on them so well, this defense, the pass rush. Early in the year, they were getting to the quarterback. The last 6 or 7 games, the pass rush has not been doing it.
Marino has his man inside the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 5, and that's McDuffie again. McDuffie with 1,050 yards receiving on the year and 7 touchdowns.
Well, Dan Marino getting a play from the sideline, just taking his time. I kind of like this approach.
Meanwhile, defensive coordinator Greg Robinson.
Well, John Tierling, we talked about that pass rush. He is the pass rush specialist for the Denver Broncos.
Marino flips out of the backfield. Parmalee diving inside the 5-yard line. 9-yard pickup on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
Now, the thing that happens when you get good protection, that last play illustrated it. Dan Marino looks down the field, really good coverage. Nobody open at the last second because you got all this extra time. You dump the ball short, and the running back can pick up extra yardage.
Significant drive for the Dolphins. This is the 10th play of this drive coming up. Dolphins go to a double tight end now, and it's Ed Perry and Hendrick Lusk. And now Marino calls timeout and walks away from the play. That stops the clock with 10:14 to play here in the first half, and the Dolphins knocking on the door for the first time today.
Johnson would have that little surprise element on each side of the ball. The no huddle, of course, is one of the surprises he's using on offense.
Ed Perry, the tight end. Abdul-Jabbar, the only back behind Marino on 3rd and 2. Quick drop, throws to the corner. It is incomplete. Lamar Thomas, his intended receiver, it would have been enough for the first down.
Boy, good job by Darian Gordon, number 21. Waits for Lamar Thomas to come across the formation. Look, he hustles all the way there. Because you're on the goal line, you have the advantage of looking for that short pass. He does it, gets his hand in there, and knocks it out.
Olindo Mare on to attempt the field goal from 23 yards out. Has been in something of a slump. He has missed 4 of his last 9 attempts. Pulled it, but just inside the goalpost. So the Dolphins are on the board with 10:07 to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by GMC Envoy. United Airlines, rising is a daily commitment to making flying more civilized. United is rising. And by the NASDAQ MX Market Group, the market of markets.
Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan back at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Amari field goal has the Dolphins on the board, 14-3, to cap a 76-yard drive. Vaughn Hebron, who pulled a hamstring in practice and was doubtful on it until game time, takes the kick. Penalty marker down, and he is met and dropped just across the 20. as we await the call.
Tripping, number 42 on the receiving team. There'll be a 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's Detron Smith. We'll take the opportunity to remind you, coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you to our New York studio for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim, Marcus, Brent, and Mike have first half highlights. Steelers coach Bill Cowher has analysis and a preview of the San Francisco-Atlanta game coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. So the Broncos will start from their own 13.
Let's see if it's a runner pass. John Elway must be a run.
It is indeed. Davis, big hole, and breaks free. 30, 35, brought down across the 40 by Sam Madison.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Terrell Davis, and what he said, what's going to be the difference from the last game 3 weeks ago till today? He says, I'm rested. I got that week off. I didn't have to practice. And he says, I got fresh legs. I really struggled at the end of the year. And he says, the Miami Dolphin defense, they haven't seen a Terrell Davis, the runner, they're going to see today. And I think you can notice, even at home watching it, how much quicker and how fast he is getting to the hole.
91 yards already for Davis. Davis to the 48, maybe the 49.
Well, the Miami Dolphin defense, I mean, there's a couple people that got to come up big. The corners, they're doing a pretty good job. Zach Thomas, number 54. Hey, they got to do something. They go away from him. They got to find a way to get in there, crowd the line of scrimmage, and make those tackles. Now watch Shannon Sharp, number 84. Good job. Does a good job on Derek Rogers. Keeps him out of the play. Gives Terrell Davis another nice hole to run into.
Terrell Davis now at 100 yards on the day.
Now that's not a good sign when you have success at all three spots.
2nd and 2. Lavelle in momentarily for Davis, gets the first down.
Now, you know, we talked about Greg, and you know, we've seen Terrell Davis do such a good job. Tony Jones, the left tackle, hobbling off.
Jones, the 11-year veteran out of Western Carolina.
That would be huge for the Denver Broncos. Let's watch and see if we can find out what happened. He's the left tackle. Here he is. Here he comes. Oh, and the runner falls into his knee.
And the Dolphins use a timeout. 7:55 to play, first half. That's left tackle Tony Jones, still continuing to be worked on the side. So now Harry Swain moves to left tackle, and Matt Lepsis moves in at right tackle. Elway, time, going for an all, down the far side, incomplete. Rod Smith, the intended receiver, and Sam Madison was there with it.
Now I'm telling you, anytime the Denver Broncos want to do this, they can throw it down the field today, and they're guaranteed of this. The corners for the Dolphins one-on-one. And look at Sam Madison, puts that hand out, always feeling where the receiver is. And I'll say this about Sam Madison, number 29, Jimmy Johnson, who's been in the NFL and had a lot of good defensive backs. He says this is the best corner I have ever coached.
Terrell Davis flanked to the top as a wide receiver. Elway looks to this side, throws Shannon Sharp. I beg your pardon. Make that. Yes, it is Shannon Sharp.
Now they went to 5 wides, and while the Denver Broncos did, you could see what happened. You put Shannon Sharp out, way to the right like a wide receiver, and you get a linebacker singled up on him. And Derek Rogers, that's tough duty for him to go out and have to cover Shannon Sharp all over the field.
The ball just short of a first down. Will be 3rd and 1.
Let's see if we can see John Elway. Hands look still. Not moving. Should be a run. And he did not
get it. Down, but short.
You know, usually when you run the quarterback sneak, these officials will give you the benefit of the doubt. And that time, John Elway went in the line of scrimmage and he went backwards. There was nowhere to go.
Well, the fans want Mike Shanahan to go for it on 4th down.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. Mike Shanahan's over on the sideline. He is tearing up that script he's got, looking for that play. So you can tell just by his reaction there that he plans on going for it on 4th down. That's almost a full yard short.
On 4th down, number 89, Dwayne Carswell, an extra tight end, comes into the game.
Now he has been 4 for 10 so far this year. The Denver Broncos are on 4th down. But Mike Shanahan has been a risk taker in these situations. But I've got to, well, he's going to 5 wide receivers. I would think he would hand it to Terrell Davis. Look for the quarterback draw.
Elway, quick roll, quick throw, got his man Rod Smith down the sidelines, out of bounds inside the 25-yard line.
Well, usually a lot of times when Elway's under center, that's a quarterback sneak. I thought maybe the quarterback draw, but they go to the play that they run so many times. Rod Smith, look at him coming across in motion, and what they do, Elway sprints out, and they just throw it to the sideline real fast before the defense can react.
So the Broncos now set up at the Miami 22. Davis, big hole left side, 15 to the 13-yard line. Brock Marion with the tackle.
Well, you know, as I watched this so far, the Miami Dolphins defensive line, when you lose Tim Bowens and you lose Jason Taylor, 2 really quality defensive linemen, it is tough to stop the running game. And Terrell Davis, 12 carries for 109 yards.
To go with those 2 touchdowns. And most consecutive 100 yards rushing game in the playoffs. Terrell Davis now moves 1 closer to John Riggins. 2nd and 2 from the 14. Davis moves the pile for 1st down yardage.
Well, when you're sitting there on the sideline for the Miami Dolphins and you are just getting gashed by the running game of the Denver Broncos, now look what they've done. They're just going to put everybody in there and leave single coverage. They're going to get both safeties involved with the running game because they got to find a way to stop Terrell Davis.
Broncos had just 219 total yards in the loss to Miami. And you see Jimmy Johnson fired up.
Yeah, that's why the fans are reacting. Jimmy can get a little animated on the sideline.
1st down from the 10. Elway, end zone, incomplete. Rod Smith is intended receiver.
You know, it's hard to sit here and say, boy, you're impressed with something so far, the Miami defense, because the Broncos have just driven it down the field every time. But the corners, the coverage has been exceptional by the corners down the field. And John Elway, he knows that the going's pretty tough when you're throwing to those wide receivers.
Derek Lavelle, the lone back behind Elway now on 2nd down. And Lavelle gets the toss, cuts it back. Inside the 10, inside the 5, touchdown.
What is happening? This Miami Dolphin defense, it likes to run, and it is fast. The cutback runs, they're over pursuing, and when the runners stop and go the other way, there is nobody on the backside there to make the tackle.
3rd rushing touchdown of the day for the Broncos. Elam's kick is good. 4:39 to play in the 1st half as the Broncos extend to 21-3, and Jimmy Johnson's going to take a walk and do a little talking. Derek Lavelle picking his way into the end zone. 21-3 Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Saturn and by the American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
Once again, these aerial shots provided by Southwest Airlines. 4:39 to play here in the first half. And the Broncos with a 21-3 lead and an unhappy Jimmy Johnson on the sidelines. This is a short kick, Avery from the 5. Dips outside on the far side, 25, and out of bounds, short of the 30-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown, Phil.
Well, let's take a look at it from the defensive side. Here you come. Watch there, look. Derek Lavelle just takes it to the right. And watch as he cuts back. The safeties for the Dolphins. Brock Marion misses a tackle that time. But watch Zach Thomas, the middle linebacker. His job, seek and destroy. He's in good position, but again, gets a little too far outside. You've got to watch the cutback. That's the main thing, the Denver Broncos offense, what they like to do when they're running the football.
That'll tell you a lot about what the Broncos have accomplished today. Marino from his own 28. Stumbling across the 30 to about the 32. Tyrone Braxton making the tackle on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You know, the Miami Dolphin offense, you know, they have success throwing the football, and they did that one drive. They go down and kick the field goal, but, you know, you're kind of caught in between. What do? Try to hurry up and get this thing and score, or do you slow it down because you got to think something of your defense? If you go 3 and out, you put your defense back out in the field again, this game could be over.
Over the middle, it's complete, caught by Lamar Thomas, and Thomas has enough for a first down.
You know, I don't know how many times as I've watched Dan Marino through the years as you get a look at Lamar Thomas, but I always keep looking at him and go, well, I think he's losing it a little. I don't know. But I tell you, as I've watched him these last 5 or 6 weeks, the Dolphins have started to throw the ball. He looks good. His feet look lively. He's moving in the pocket. And his arm looks as strong as I've ever seen it.
You can see him bouncing on the balls of his feet back there. Marino throws, incomplete. Pass intended for Ed Perry.
No pass interference. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. But, you know, we were talking to John Elway out here. Watch this. Damn, it's a blitz. Steve Atwater coming free. Dan Marino sees it. John Mobley does a good job getting his hand up and knocking the pass down. But we were talking to John Elway. He said he loved throwing the football down in Miami. It felt good, the humidity, all that. And he says, out here, it's real dry. And he says, Dan Marino, I can't wait to see how many times he licks that big hand trying to get some moisture on it to throw the football out here in Denver.
2nd and 10. Getting nowhere is Stanley Pritchett.
Well, they're getting no pressure on Dan Marino in the passing game. So the Denver Broncos, watch John Mobley. 2nd and 10. They're going to take a chance, try to get to the quarterback, but if they run the ball, just get in the way and make the tackle.
3rd and call it 13. Quick pass complete, close to the 45-yard line to Gadsden.
Good job by the Denver Broncos defense. They blitz, they make you throw it quick, short of the first down.
That'll take us up to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the first half, and the Broncos lead it 21-3.
Coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you back to New York studio for the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nance, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and Mike Lombardi will have first half highlights, plus Steelers coach Bill Cowher will have first half analysis plus a preview of the San Francisco-Atlanta game. That's coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. And if you're sitting at home and you're wondering, why is Phil Simms reading that? Well, Greg Gumbel's back. How you doing, Greg?
Hey, Phil.
All right. You know, sometimes you just got to play hurt, Greg.
2 minutes to play on 4th down. Darian Gordon. Fair catch at the 7.
Well, you look at the Broncos, their first 3 possessions in 14 plays, 4 plays for a touchdown, then 11 plays. I mean, everything they are trying in the running game is working. Now, the passing game, when John Elway has thrown the ball down the field to his receivers against the Miami Dolphins defensive backs, the corners especially, not quite as easy.
Elway's numbers, 9 of 12 for 113 yards. And he has 1:51 here in the first half. Davis. This time Davis hit hard for a loss of about a yard.
Well, when you look at Terrell Davis, all the success he is having, here's what you got to do to stop him. The safeties, you got to get 9 people involved coming up on the outside of the formations to take away the run when it comes to the strong side. And then when you come back to the backside, you can see number 31, Brock Marion, the other safety. There he is. What has happened so far in this game, the safeties, when they have come up, they've over-pursued or they've missed the tackle.
And a completely different game on the ground as opposed to the first when they met back in Miami on the 21st of December. Davis.
But really the big key so far is, I mean, when we talk about this running game, the Denver offensive line is just winning the battle up front. I said to you earlier that Mike Shanahan, he said when we played down in Miami, they just whipped us up front. So you don't think he used that at all this week to his offensive linemen, like, you know, can we make this 50-50? Let's win this battle so we split the year. But the offensive line has done a terrific job.
135 rushing yards for the Broncos.
And you know how good they were doing and how good this offensive line. We talked to Zach Thomas, and he had the utmost respect for him, especially the center, number 66, Tom Nalen. He says he does a terrific job of run blocking and pass blocking.
Well, the Broncos burn their second time out of the half.
There's Tom Nalen.
Take a look at the numbers on these 2 great quarterbacks, Elway and Marino, today. Marino 10 of 14 for 106 yards. Not much to differ there.
Well,
the difference is Terrell Davis.
Well, it is, and both of them throwing the football extremely well when they get open receivers. And John Elway's done a good job of throwing it by having receivers move, getting them open, getting good matchups, which is something the Broncos always try to do. And that is 14 rushes for 111 yards for a running back. I mean, well, I don't know if outstanding is a good word for it.
Outstanding is a pretty good word. 25 seconds remaining. 3rd and 4 for Elway. And Davis coming at you again. Cuts it back to a 25-yard line, and that's a first down. But in all likelihood, that'll be the last play of the first half.
Just another good example, cutting back the backside of the defense, not doing the job for the Miami Dolphins.
The Broncos will let the clock run out. And that is the end of the first half. Our halftime score, Denver 21, Miami 3. Coming up, we'll be sending you to New York in the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nance and company will get you caught up on the highlights. At Mile High Stadium, the halftime score, Broncos lead the Dolphins 21-3. Welcome back to Denver, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms, and there is no other way to describe the first half. There is no aspect of the game that the Broncos didn't excel in more than the Dolphins did.
It's called a whipping, Greg, and that's what happened in the first half. I think it really shows you what happens to football teams when they get a week off, and we're seeing the Denver Broncos, now that they have something to play for, that they're just physically dominating the game.
So what do you do in the second half if you're Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson?
Well, Jimmy Johnson, first thing I do, my defense, I really give them a tongue lashing at halftime. We got to tackle, be more aggressive, and be smarter, change it up. And in offense, the Miami Dolphins, what they have to do, you got to put the football in the hands of your best player. Dan Marino, I look for, hurry up offense quite a bit in the second half.
Statistics usually tell the tale, and they certainly do here. take a look at the numbers, particularly the rushing yards. Miami just 13 yards on the ground.
Well, you know, that's not a big deal for Miami. I mean, the big one is at 147 Denver has. I mean, that's what they want to do, stop that running game. You know, Miami, I didn't expect them to come in the game and have a lot of opportunities to make good runs. I thought they just run it, try to keep Denver off balance, and win the game by Dan Marino throwing the football.
Well, Jimmy Johnson did say it's important for us to get some rushing attempts.
Attempts, that's it. That's all. Attempts. You know, I don't think he had great hope that they were going to do a good job running the football.
Well, the Dolphins will kick it away to start the second half. Vaughn Hebron standing in his own end zone.
Greg, did you get to hear me read that promo in the first half?
I missed that.
Oh man, only stuttered 4 times. It was pretty good. The whole booth was giving me high fives and I did it.
You need more
They had no
practice.
faith in me. No faith.
Mari booms this one. This one will be run out of the end zone. Hebron will keep it there. Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
You know, as expected, Greg, you imagine Jimmy Johnson not pleased. I talked to him. He said, we're not playing well at all. They're playing like Super Bowl champions. We have to do something to slow them down in the second half. Mike Shanahan very pleased. That opening drive, 92 yards. He said, we really set the tempo of this game. We have to keep it up. Those looking for omens might look at these two stats. The Dolphins are 0-6 in the playoffs dating back to 1972, not including the Super Bowl. The Broncos, on the other hand, are 17-0 at home. Back to you.
And John Elway goes back to work. Davis picking up right where he left off. Inside the 20-yard line.
Wow. The offensive line for the Denver Broncos, they just come out and they just open up a hole as big as you've seen in the whole first half. Watch Terrell Davis. A little counter play. Catches the Dolphins off guard. They're coming upfield. Nobody there in the hole to make the tackle. And Terrell Davis, you can see when you watch him run it when you're at home, he looks fresh, he looks quick, and he is definitely faster than he was the last part of the football season.
62 yards. Derek Lavelle with the carry.
You know, Greg, we were talking to Terrell Davis, and we said to him, what did you do during the week off? And he says, man, did I rest up? And we talked about it a little before. He says, I didn't practice. I just worked out a little. And he says, I did some serious sleeping. He said, it was work. I did so much sleeping. I go, well, you know, I'm like, well, how much sleep did you get? And, you know, he was knocking out about 14 hours a day for a couple days. And you're a running back. You run for over 2,000 yards. You take all those hits. You need some rest.
You've put in a season. 5 wide receivers for the Broncos. Elway coming across, Shannon Sharp.
Well, John Elway, that is one of the few times that he did not make a good decision. He completes the ball to Shannon Sharp. I saw him do this quite a bit in practice. They spread everybody out. Shannon Sharp just comes across the field and catches a short pass. But that time, Ed McCaffrey in the slot was one-on-one with Brock Marion, and nobody back behind him, and he was wide open in the end zone for the touchdown.
Davis back in on 3rd and 1. Davis pushing for the first down. And as you can tell by the CBS first down marker, he didn't get there.
It almost looks funny to see Terrell Davis run up in there and not get about 8 or 10. And I mean, the Miami Dolphins, and it really kind of shows you, I mean, they got good depth on their defensive line, but they have really been hurt up front by not having Tim Bowens and Jason Taylor.
And he is that short of a first down. And on 4th and about half a yard, Elway on the field.
Well, John, I mean, Mike Shanahan's already made his mind up, and it looks like John Elway already has the play.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I mean, you'd have to think if you're the Denver Broncos, as good as they've run the football, you wouldn't take a chance in this situation by trying to catch the defense by surprise. Just hand it to Terrell Davis and let him bang in there and get you a first down.
Broncos have gone for it already once today on 4th down. They made it.
John Elway sure did a lot of talking and stayed in the huddle quite a long time.
And they take the delay of game penalty. The Dolphin defense did not jump on the cadence.
Well, you know, that's about, and I can understand, you know, the Miami defense, I'm sure they were somewhat alerted, don't jump off sides, but John Elway has used that snap count about 4 times today and really hit it hard, and I think he's the best in the National Football League of drawing the defense off sides, but Miami's defense has not moved.
Jason Elam will try this one from 32 yards. You will recall he had a 63-yarder earlier this season. And it is good. The Elam field goal caps off the drive set up by Terrell Davis, going 62 yards. The Broncos extend their lead. Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver for the kickoff. Avery and Marion are deep for the Dolphins. This is Avery. Looking for running room near side. Penalty marker flies, and Avery is down just across the 25-yard line. It's against the Miami Dolphins.
Holding number 45 on the return team.
That's
10-yard
Brian Walker.
penalty, first down.
Meanwhile, Terrell Davis, 191 yards today, a Broncos postseason record, and it's the most points given up by a Miami Dolphin, or most rushing yardage given up by a Miami Dolphin team in the postseason.
He's not even out of breath.
No. What altitude.
Yeah, that's right.
Abdul-Jabbar. And a fine play coming up from the cornerback position by Darius Johnson.
I mean, Miami has this thing blocked all the way across the board. You think as it's coming out, I think Jabbar, looks like to me he's going to get 10, 15 yards. And then Darius Johnson, what a terrific job of coming out of the secondary. There he is. You see him way back here. He comes up, everybody's blocked. He's the only guy left, and he makes the tackle.
Loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11. Blitz, Marino gonna lob it, incomplete. And the penalty marker is down in the backfield.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Well, Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson will take that.
Well, they're looking.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93. A blow to the helmet, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Trevor Price is number 93.
Well, Trevor Price in his second year, number 93. He's going to come, look at that, coming all the way around in the game, and whoa.
It's a little lower than the helmet, isn't it?
You know, that's just a little love tap. He was excited about being close to Dan Marino, and he just wanted to let him know, man, I'm right here. But I'm sorry, Greg, but I look at this Miami offense. Throw the ball as much as you can. Try to tire out the defense of the Denver Broncos.
Marino down the middle, incomplete. That's intended for Ed Perry. We were talking to Dan Marino about the differences between Ed Perry and Troy Drayton, and he says, well, Ed Perry does a better job on the run, or does a good job on the run, but not necessarily as good a receiver as Troy Drayton.
Well, that's right. Troy Drayton is really, I think, one of the top tight ends in football because he can run down the field, catch the ball, make plays in the passing game. But you heard it from Jimmy Johnson, Dan Marino. Their running game suffers tremendously when he's out. So they miss him. That's why we're seeing, like this formation, more 3 wide receivers because of Troy Drayton being out.
complete to O.J. McDuffie to about the 38-yard line to pick up about 8 on the play.
Well, this is where, you know, the Miami Dolphins, you're on the sideline. You just have a talk with your offensive lineman. You're the quarterback. Say, I need time. We are going to throw the football a lot. And the receivers, you've got to know. You've got to come up with the tough catches because they're going to be flying around the defensive secondary making big hits as you catch the football.
So Marino and the Dolphins looking at a big 3rd and 2. Quick pass over the middle, incomplete, and the penalty marker is down. Nate Jackett, the intended receiver.
It looked like Darius Johnson was there on him before the ball got there.
And a very unpopular pass interference call.
Pass interference, number 25, defense. Automatic first down.
Well, let's see how it happens. There they are, singled up. Good move. Darius Johnson got that right hand on the back of the receiver. Sometimes it's kind of tough to see when it's in slow motion, but that official, when he sees it full speed, he thinks it's interference. Throw the flag.
Penalties are all even up at 5 each. First down, Miami from their own 42. Pass, incomplete. Ed Perry, the tight end, intended receiver.
You got Bill Romanowski comes on a blitz, and he decides to put a few words to Dan Marino when it's over. Look at him, number 53 down on the line. Just nobody picks him up. He delivers a pretty good hit on Dan Marino. And in this, watch this. Oh, Bill Romanowski will come back and tell him how good of a hit it was.
You and I have talked about the trash talkers around the league. Bill Romanowski certainly qualifies as one.
You know, we also talked about it, Greg, last night. It's something, it's part of football. It doesn't bother me, and it kind of gives it a little personality, and most of it's all done in fun on the football field.
Bernie Parmalee doesn't get up ahead of steam. Glenn Cadrez, and now this Bronco defense is fired up.
You know, you talk about that trash talking, and, you know, Bill Romanowski, he's got a reputation around the league as being one of those guys that's not afraid to voice his opinion to somebody once he makes a play. So what do we ask him? Give us your best line. He says, well, I told a lineman once, I'm going to rip your heart out, and I'm going to feed it to my dog. And I went, man, that's pretty rough. That's rough stuff. But, again, you don't take it personal when you're on the football field. That's just part of the game.
3rd and 10. Over the middle, complete. Parmalee well short of the first down. There's Bill Romanowski.
Well, I'll tell you this. I heard this from a lot of Denver defensive players when we talked about the last game these two teams played. Here's Bill Romanowski singled up. Good job, good feet, stays in position, and then cleans up on the tackle. But they said we were in position. We did not make the plays the first time we played Miami. Today, you can see they are making the tackles.
Booming kick by Wilmsmeyer. Gordon. 20. And a penalty marker is down. Face mask call against the Dolphins.
Face mask, number 57 of the kicking team, 5-yard only. Timeout.
That's O.J. Brigance. As the Broncos continue to have the momentum, Bill Romanowski leading the defensive charge.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl, the new 1999 TL, and by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
And aerial coverage of today's game is being provided by Southwest Airlines. 8:35 to play, third quarter, first down Broncos from their own 29. And Elway to throw. Popped into the air, incomplete, and a marker down. Ed McCaffrey complaining to the officials here. And Terrell Buckley was the cornerback on him.
Now the ball was tipped. The ball was tipped.
There's no foul in the play. The ball was tipped. By rule, there's no pass interference. Second down.
Let's take a look.
John Elway throwing that crossing route again. Zach Thomas on Shannon Sharp. But look down the field. Ed McCaffrey against Terrell Buckley. And well, I'd say that's pretty good. What did Terrell Buckley tell us last night? He says, man, when we get those grippers, talking about him and Sam Madison, when we get those grippers on you, those receivers, they go back to the huddle. Those jerseys are tore up everywhere. Shoulder pad hanging out, and that was a good example of it that time. Those are the guys Jimmy Johnson needs to make a play out there on defense. 5 wide receivers. Elway tears away from the tackler, and he's going to run. Dives across the 35. Well, you got Terrell Davis running the football. You can't stop that. The one thing you're doing, you're covering the receivers down the field pretty well, but the defensive linemen trying to get to the quarterback create a massive hole for John Elway to run up into and pick up about 8 yards. And you know, John Elway has been a runner his whole career as a quarterback. 3,400 yards rushing. Look at Dan Marino, 93. And look at the time sacked. John Elway, because of that running and the way he runs around, has produced a lot more sacks. Well, John Elway just called timeout, stopping the clock with 7:44 to play here in the third quarter.
We gave it exhilarating performance and the ultimate in luxury.
Phil, here's a suggestion for you. Go online and send your funniest football joke to superbowl.com. And then tune in Saturday night, January the 30th, to see if it airs during the NFL All-Stat Comedy Blitz. So give it your best shot.
Well, I got one right here. How about, you ever hear about the play-by-play man who got a little, wasn't feeling good during the game? You ever hear that one?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you lived it. Okay.
3rd and 2 and 5 wide receivers for Elway. Gonna take it, keep it to the left. First down and more. You know, he looked a little like one Doug Flutie on that play. Well, not quite like Doug Flutie, but we just said he is a running quarterback, and this tells you about playoff football. Look at that crackback. And John Elway, good block by Harry Swain, going out and creating a hole. Byron Chamberlain, number 86, and look at John Elway. He is looking to make sure he's looking to avoid contact, and good job of running, and that shows you a playoff game. Mike Shanahan coming up with another new wrinkle the Miami defense has not seen. Terrell Davis on the carry for a couple. Boy, Terrell Davis has had some afternoon here at Mile High Stadium already today. You know, I had a chance, and Greg, we've watched so many Bronco games, and I'd say about the last 5 or 6 games of the season, you know, they looked a little tired. I think the pressure of being undefeated was starting to wear on them. The offensive line was struggling. Terrell Davis didn't look as quick and as explosive, but again, when you play well during the football season, the NFL rewards you. You get that week off, they're refreshed, eager to play, and they're showing it today. Zach Thomas after Elway, and he throws it away. Of course, John Elway able to throw it away because he's outside the box, so it's not intentional grounding. Watch Zach Thomas. He's got a blitz on this time. Does a terrific job of picking out the open hole, and he has the speed. John Elway knows you got to get rid of that football because Zach Thomas, he might not be real tall, but he can hit and he can run. Zach Thomas is listed at 5'11", 235. And we've noticed in film the other day when he hits someone, he hits them hard. They go down quick when he hits them. 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 7. Elway steps up, tripped in the backfield and goes down. Jerry Wilson, number 24, made the critical trip. Well, you said it, number 24. Now Miami, they're just getting shredded in every aspect. They can't stop them, so you got to change. You got to take some chances. That time they do it, it finally pays off. They blitz John Elway again.
nobody open down the field, and they get the sack.
Well, there's number 16 in the blue jersey. Look a little strange to you. Tom Ruin to punt for the first time today. And Terrell Buckley is deep for Miami. Buckley at the 11. Avoids one tackle and then runs into the rest of the Broncos team. Out of bounds. 5:54 to play. Third quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda Accord. It's more than a car, it's a state of mind. And by First Union, your guide to the financial world.
Sun shining through here at Mile High Stadium. Along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, Greg Gumbel. Miami takes over with the ball at their own 21-yard line. And Dan Marino looking to make some things happen in a hurry now. Throw over the middle, complete. McDuffie. And McDuffie out to about the 40-yard line for a first down.
Looks like he's going to go to the hurry up. No huddle for the Dolphins this time. And hey, a little over 5 minutes to go in the game, or in the third quarter, and you're down 24-3. You've got to change it. You had success doing this in the first half. Just makes sense to go back to it.
Had good momentum with it early on in the game. Little flare out here is complete. Parmalee out of bounds. Looks like a pickup of about 9 on the play.
Well, when you watch Dan Marino, when he drops back to throw, he can make a decision. He makes it so quick and then gets rid of the football. And well, you can see up here it's dry. He's got that hand up to the knuckles now, trying to get some moisture there to get a good grip on that football. 2nd and 1. And now the Broncos call timeout. That's their second timeout here in the second half, and it stops the clock with 5:05 to play. Parcells. It all begins with the NFL today here on CBS, America's most watched network. 2nd and 1 for Marino and the Dolphins. Changing the play, something that's hard to do when you're in this stadium.
Quick slant, complete. Lamar Thomas. And Lamar Thomas close to the 35-yard line. A 16-yard pickup.
You know, this is something Jimmy Johnson told us last night. He says we got to have patience and we got to throw these short routes. And that's what Lamar Thomas is doing. Boy, nice catch too. Gets just his fingertips on it and pulls it in. He says we got to have the patience to keep throwing the ball short and hope our receivers can make a run after they catch it.
First down to the 34. Marino steps up, throws, intercepted. Bill Romanowski. Marino was off balance when he threw the ball.
Well, it's something that Dan Marino doesn't do very often. Watch what happens. He usually just shuffles in the pocket, but this time he comes out running, not able to get a lot on the ball, and not a good decision. And watch Bill Romanowski dropping back, just reading Dan Marino, sees him turn. Good adjustment. Excellent play by Bill Romanowski.
Romanowski, 2 interceptions on the regular season and came up one happy camper, didn't he? Broncos take over their own 21-yard line, and Terrell Davis continues to pile up the yardage. Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin?
You know, Greg, talking about Bill Romanowski, one of the things he said, that record run that the Broncos went through going for the season of perfection was so draining to the team. And as the pressure mounted, all the team was thinking about was the streak instead of playing great football. He said when they lost, he said it was great because the team got focused again on playing great football. And he said what was important is they started to look to the Super Bowl. He said, and we're seeing evidence of that today. Back to you.
Well, you know, I asked him, I said, did you like that streak? And he goes, yeah. I think he liked it. It didn't bother Bill Romanowski, the pressure that was coming with being undefeated. And, you know, he's not one of these guys that looks ahead. I mean, Greg, we've talked to him so many times. We've watched him in practice. every play in practice, you can tell it means a lot to him to do the right thing physically and mentally. And when they're not in practice, what does he do? He's always standing next to the coach. Well, coach, what about this? What about that? And he's, you know, so he just can't get enough information, and, you know, physically he just takes care of himself to the ultimate.
As soon as we hit town, we were curious as to what kind of practices the Broncos were having. He said they were having great practices. Penalty marker flies. Elway going to go deep and overthrow Shannon Sharp. Sharp thinks he was held by Terrell Buckley.
Well, let's see. We got flags everywhere, so there could have been a lot of everything going on. But Greg, just talking about Bill Romanowski, what you said, he said Thursday they had the best practice they have had the whole year. Everybody running around. 2 penalties on Miami.
Offside, number 93, defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 27 on the defense. That penalty is accepted. First down at the spot of the foul.
That'll be Terrell Buckley.
Well, let's watch Terrell Buckley against Shannon Sharp. You know, the one thing Terrell doesn't have to worry about, Shannon's not going to outrun him, but just keeps his hands on him way too long. Never lets go.
You know, I don't think the rule is holding 5 yards at a time.
You know, it's interesting watching. What makes me laugh there is Jimmy Johnson, Greg, said to Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison, we had them together last night talking, and something they do pretty well. They like to talk.
Yes, they do.
But they said Jimmy Johnson came to them just before, you know, as training camp was going on and before the season. He says, look, you two, I want you to be as physical as you can be as corners. Don't worry about penalties, and I want you to challenge those wide receivers. You never have to apologize for anything you're doing. So they get to go out there and play with a clear conscience and don't worry about what happens. Just, you know, try to make things happen.
Derek Lavelle, right side. You saw that graphic just a few moments ago. The Miami Dolphins have been flagged 7 times for penalties today, and they didn't draw 1 penalty, which was, Mike Shanahan was kind of amazed by that.
Well, he, you know, tongue-in-cheek says, I want to congratulate the Miami Dolphins for playing such a clean game.
Perfect game.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, when you can go through an NFL game and not have the penalty flag thrown against you, well, it's almost impossible to do.
Terrell Davis back on the field on 2nd and 7. Play action over the middle, complete. And this is Howard Griffith. Griffith across midfield for a first down.
Well, how about that, Howard Griffith? You know, a name you don't get to say a whole lot, Greg. And, you know, when you're the lead blocker for Terrell Davis, they're sure not going to hand the ball to you a whole lot of times, but he sneaks out in the pass play, and look what he does. Breaks the tackle of Zach Thomas. Well, let's see what the coach thinks about it when he sees his fullback. Yeah.
On the season, Howard Griffith, 16 catches for 194 yards and a touchdown. On first down, the blitz. Elway tries to get rid of the ball to Griffith. Coming out of the backfield, Calvin Jackson was the man into the secondary.
Good job of blitzing by Miami and making John Elway throw the ball away. But, you know, Greg, talking about Howard Griffith, we talked to him a few weeks ago, and he says, you know, fullback is the worst job in the league. You know, we get no credit, and if the running back doesn't do well, everybody's on us. And, of course, it's such a physical job, and you can see the size of Howard Griffith, 6 foot, 230. He came in the league as a halfback. He saw the speed and how these people could run. He goes, I think my career might be a lead blocker. And he's really done a terrific job of doing that. And one of the reasons why Terrell Davis has had such a successful career.
On the blitz, Elway hit. And goes down in a heap. That was Zach Thomas coming in.
Well, what we're seeing is a few new coverages and things by this Miami defense. Zach Thomas, this time, he lines up to the outside. Comes in, nobody sees him, nobody blocks him, and John Elway real fortunate not to get hurt, not to turn the football over. Wow. Well, you can say when Zach Thomas hits you most of the time, you will go down quick.
You know, it's John Elway's Super Bowl victory, days like that that bring you back, and hits like that that make you think about retirement. 3rd and 10. Down the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Byron Chamberlain.
Let's watch Terrell Buckley as he goes down the field. Now this is just a mismatch. I mean, he's so much faster than Byron Chamberlain. But look, he sees those hands. He's not going to lose that hand battle. He was talking to us about that last night. He says, hey, when every receiver puts his hand out on us, that's just as destructive as when we put it on them. And I said, you're right. I don't usually see it that way.
O.J. McDuffie lets it go. It bounces into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. And while we have a moment to look at the CBS Sportsline question of the week, what was the most exciting regular season game of this season? Was it the Jets at San Francisco, the Dolphins in New England, Seattle at the Jets, San Diego at Arizona? Log on to vote at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline.
Well, the Dolphins, I think it's safe to say, you can say it now, they need to score a touchdown on this drive. I mean, you look at the drives. Last time they had things going, they finally pressured Dan Marino. They made him move. He throws the interception. They've shown a couple times that throwing the football, they can move it on Denver's defense.
The give is to Parmalee. He lost a couple.
But they have really shown on a consistent basis that they can't run it. And you know what? And why they run it in a situation like that, you're really just trying to catch the defense off guard. And look at the rushing yards. 240 to 11 for the Dolphins. And, you know, they can't even get back to the line of scrimmage before a defensive lineman is up the field, you know, just disrupting the running plays.
Marino from the shotgun. And whistle blows. This play will not count. It's Oronde Gadsden. The whistle blew.
False start. Number 76. Offense.
That's James Brown, the right tackle.
Remains second down.
Well, last week the Bills racked up 416 total yards against Miami. Today Denver has 365, but the big difference is the Broncos haven't turned the ball over, whereas the Bills turned it over 5 times last week.
Well, the Bills did it by throwing the football. Just watch. Look at all the people up by the line of scrimmage. And when you get a defensive that's really pressuring the line of scrimmage, it makes the offense a little antsy, and that's why they jumped off sides. But Greg, the difference in the yardage, last week the Bills were doing it under duress, throwing the football. Denver, they're controlling things. They're doing it with the running game. Hard to turn it over when you're running the football like Denver has.
2nd and 17. Movement in the backfield and on the line again.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 65, offense.
That's Kevin Donnelly. A different
down.
kind of noise here this time around, as we mentioned earlier.
Well, what I can't tell, I think Jimmy Johnson is telling Dan Marino to go on a silent snap. Now, I asked Dan Marino that last night, and he said they had it on. He just touches his leg, the center snaps it, and we go. Because if you're trying to call signals from the shotgun formation, I mean, it's disaster. You're going to keep having these penalties.
29 seconds remaining.
Listen to the crowd. I think they're yelling at Jimmy.
They wouldn't do that, would they? Marino throws. It is almost intercepted. Glenn Cadrez broke it up, but Tyrone Braxton, I think his eyes lit up.
He had it. Tyrone Braxton waited, watched Dan Marino, and if it's Glenn Cadrez doesn't hit it, it is definitely going to be picked off. Watch Tyrone Braxton, top of your screen. Sees the receiver, sees Marino look, driving through to make the interception, but has to get out of the way of that big linebacker.
3rd and 22, and on long yardage, the Dolphins are 0 for 3 on 3rd down. Marino steps up, throws over the middle, in and out of the arms of O.J. McDuffie.
Well, we've seen this quite a few times today. Between all the penalties of moving before the snap and this right here, a good throw by Dan Marino and a drop pass. Those are the little things that have just built up and have given the Miami Dolphins no chance of winning the game.
By our count, that's 4 dropped passes by the Dolphins today. Wilmsmeyer to kick to Darian Gordon. Gordon watches it sail out of bounds with 2 seconds left here in the third quarter. Bill Romanowski as fired up off the field as he is on.
Well, he says it's his house, and you know what? It is. 17 in a row. It's hard to come in and beat this team, and with the crowd, the fact that they got the week off, and besides all that, you know they're really good. So that's a lot to overcome when you come to Mile High Stadium.
There were many concerns here in Denver as to whether or not the Broncos would regain that early season form.
We'll talk about that later, Greg, but I think that really has helped this team. The papers, everybody was getting on them. They can't do it, and it kind of fired them up.
McCaffrey wraps up the third quarter with a first down effort. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, Denver 24 and Miami 3. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Back for the start of the fourth quarter. Why don't you show them how the telestrator works?
Hey, here it is right in front of me. Let me see if I can draw a circle big enough to get around my big head. Yep, did it. What do you think?
You're excellent.
I got it. You know, everybody comes in the booth. The first thing they want to look at, where's that telestrator? You know, it's just a big screen. I put my big finger on it, and it comes out.
Or as we call it, Phil's Folly.
There you go.
Terrell Davis struggling for a little yardage. Boy, what a day he's had today, and the way he's gotten it looks strangely familiar.
Well, it does look familiar. Terrell Davis, this game, you can summarize it this easy. It's about him running the football and cutting back. Watch, going right, cuts it back, look at the big hole, he sees it, then he makes people miss. This time they catch him on a little trap. It looks like it's going to go right. He goes back to the left. And this one here, look at that cavern to the backside.
I think there's going to be a fair number of defensive coordinators trying to figure out how to defend that cutback block.
Well, they've been trying for 2 years. They can't get it done.
Oh, Ed McCaffrey hit with a solid shot by Brock Marion.
Well, big Eddie McCaffrey, number 87. They've been moving these wide receivers because this helps them. Look at Terrell Buckley trying to fight through the traffic to get there, but Brock Marion saw it coming across. And wow, that is a big-time hit by Brock Marion. And, of course, John Elway not doing Big Ed any favors by throwing it high, and that is solid. See, Greg, when they hit you, that's solid and drive you into the ground, it doesn't hurt.
As much.
Yeah, as much.
Shannon Sharp, first down yardage inside the 30.
Well, we see it again. Terrell Davis on the sideline with cramps in his calf. But again, Shannon Sharp coming across the formation. And why they're doing this, again, when you run across the field against man coverage, it makes it hard for the defender to chase you. Look at Gerald Wilson, number 24, chasing him because you got to worry about other receivers, defensive backs get in your way, and it just makes it hard. That's why the receivers are getting open.
Oh, way to throw again. Down the sideline, Rod Smith, touchdown!
Well, that is a replay of what happened down in Miami, except the Dolphins were the ones doing the throwing. And this is what was happening down there. Watch Rod Smith. Perfect coverage by Sam Madison, but the ball is thrown just behind him. The receiver makes the adjustment. The defender cannot.
You're talking about talkers on the field. Sam Madison does a lot of that. Imagine Rod Smith was giving a little of it back to him. Elam is good on the extra point. 13:23 to play in regulation. And Rod Smith coming back behind Madison. Madison with a handful of jersey, and John Elway says, yeah, that was good. These great pictures provided by Southwest Airlines.
I don't like heights. Makes me dizzy.
John Avery, 15, the 30, the 35, and he is hit hard and dropped there by Ray Crockett. Let's go back to the touchdown pass to Rod Smith.
Well, if you want to know why Sam Madison was yelling and why he couldn't stop, look at that right hand of Rod Smith. He has got that jersey. It's perfect, and he pulls him forward. He stops and goes up and makes the catch. Now, early in the telecast, we were talking about Sam Madison, Terrell Buckley. They would tell us last night about their grippers, their hands. But we saw the receiver kind of reversing at that time, and Rod Smith used it to his advantage to make the catch.
First down, Miami from the 35. Marino looking at a huge deficit now. Quick pass, complete. McDuffie, and McDuffie across the 45 to about the 47. 12 yards and a first down.
Well, we can see again, Greg, we talked about the 2 weeks. The Denver Broncos, not only did they get rested up, but this coaching staff came up with a lot of good things, new looks. The players are excited, and they've shown it all on the field today.
Marino complete to the 40-yard line to Gadsden. And that's another Miami first down. That is a 13-yard pickup. You know, it's interesting. We've talked about these two great quarterbacks, and you talk to John Elway, and you say, well, John, is this your last season? Are you coming back? And he goes, well, I don't know. I'm not going to think about that till midsummer. Marino, oh, yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, Dan Marino. I mean, when you watch him play, you see him move around and throw this ball.
Great catch inside the 25 by O.J. McDuffie. 17-yard pickup.
And there, when I was saying, Greg, there is no doubt that he is going to come back and play again next year.
We have an injured Bronco on the field.
O.J. McDuffie, number 81. It's Darian Gordon. Look at this. Look at the throw. And what a catch. The ball behind him. The ball actually gets past him, and he reaches his hands up. Perfect form. Catches the ball in his hands. Well, if you're a young receiver at home, this is how you catch the football. Look at this.
McDuffie, 7 catches for 101 yards today.
But yeah, you were talking about Dan Marino. We asked Jimmy Johnson some of these questions about next year, Dan Marino coming back, and you know, Jimmy he says it this way: we need more playmakers on offense, so that means they got to get at least one big-time receiver, one more, and maybe 2, but he'd like to get that one big-time running back, a guy that has the size and can use the power and speed, you know, like a Terrell Davis, or you know, because there's a lot of good running backs that come in this league every single year.
Darian Gordon helped off the field. You know, Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl in only his 2nd year in the National Football League, and said, well, you know, you walked off the field a loser that day. Did you think, yeah, you'll have a lot more chances? Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. 4 or 5.
He said, when I lost the next day, it wasn't that big of a deal to me, because I just figured, hey, we'll probably be back here next year. If not, we'll be back here a bunch of times the next 5 or 6 years.
Torrey James has replaced the injured Gordon. Far side of the field, complete and out of bounds. And that's McDuffie again.
You know, we hear that story so many times, so Greg, as you go around and players talking about getting to the Super Bowl, winning it, and you know, so many of them have been in it, lost, and they almost everybody to a man says the same thing. You know, I just thought we'd always get back there. I thought I'd have another chance, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I should. And you know, it's hard to enjoy it when you're doing it because you're concentrating and working so hard.
Marino throws this side, far side rather, to Pritchett, and he is hit hard by Torrey James. Well, Marino can wax poetic on how precious the trip to the Super Bowl is.
Well, the thing I've noticed today, the big difference, this Denver Broncos defense, that last play just illustrated, they are running to the ball, they are making the hits, and they're the first guy is making the tackle. They're not breaking tackles, getting long runs off of something, or catching short passes and making big gains. The secondary of the Broncos has had a great day tackling.
400+ total yards now. And Marino goes down. Marvin Washington, number 95.
Well, that'll make the Broncos happy. We've said the one thing they've struggled on defensively is not getting enough pressure on the quarterback. Marvin Washington just does a good job of pushing and pushing. Really a good. John Bach, the left guard, does a good job. It just takes Dan Marino a little too long to get rid of the football.
4th and 8. The blitz. Quick pass. Complete. And dropping the football is Gadsden. And Gadsden is injured.
It's a completion.
This is not ruled like a fumble. Neil Smith. Neil Smith for the touchdown. $79 yards. And altitude or no altitude, Big Neil Smith is gassed.
Boy, Big Neil Smith was just tearing up some air, looking for it, going down the sideline, and a good job by him. A lot of people, us included, thought the play was over. Look what happens. It is a completion before he goes down. Because of the hit, it looks like Oronde Gadsden's knee is hurt. He lets go of the football.
The hit was put on by number 25, Darius Johnson.
And Neil Smith does a good job of picking it up and being alert and running down the side. And right here, he doesn't know what to do. Somebody block that man for me there, because I cannot outrun Tim running. It looks like the ball comes out before he gets to the ground. An alert play. Nobody touched him. Good blocks. And watch right here. Starts pointing. He's pointing like a running back.
Like all of the running backs, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's terrific for a defensive lineman. They dream of these things.
Meanwhile, now getting to his feet is Oronde Gadsden. Definitely having some problems with that right leg.
I think for Neil Smith to come back in the game, he's going to have to put about 5 more of those breathe rights on his nose to get some more air. He's over on the sideline still gasping, but he scored him a touchdown.
Meanwhile, the Broncos have boosted their lead. You know, the worst previous playoff loss for the Miami Dolphins was in Super Bowl 19. They lost 38-16 to San Francisco. This is going to eclipse that by a lot.
Well, when you play the Denver Broncos, the one thing you got to know, and Mike Shanahan has said it to us many times, we're going to score somewhere. We're going to score at least 28 points. That's what they think. And you got to come in here and you got to try to outscore this offense.
Jason Elam adds the extra point. Meanwhile, it is lightning Neil Smith with his 3rd career touchdown. I'd say the Broncos are in charge right now.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. American Express. American Express helps you do more. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
I'd say the Mile High scenery is a beautiful sight to everyone except the Miami Dolphins and their fans right now, as Neil Smith is still catching up on the sideline.
You know, that's pretty amazing. He's got that Band-Aid on it. It has a Bronco on it too. I mean, he takes care of all the little things.
There it is.
Look at that. Got a horse on his nose.
So you don't hit the wrong guy on the field.
Yeah.
This is Avery. 25. Penalty marker flies. 2 of them.
Penalties. Special teams penalties have been a backbreaker for Miami. Offensive penalties, poor tackling.
We have the familiar conference.
Jimmy Johnson even said to us, Larry Izzo, his best special team player, is out. Personal foul, face mask against the Denver Broncos. But he said it's really hurt his special teams. Number 43, Larry Izzo, backup linebacker, kind of like the captain of his special teams. And since he's been out, they've moved a lot of people around.
Number 83 of the return team. Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. By rule, the receiving team will keep the ball at the spot of their foul, first down.
So Marino will go back to work at the 22-yard line. And the numbers on the day, quite a bit different from 3 weeks ago in Miami.
Well, it sure is. And I mean, today, Dan Marino's receivers not making the plays. John Elway, they have. And of course, John Elway, the beneficiary today, he said it. We couldn't throw it down in Miami because we couldn't run it. Today, they've run the ball extremely well. It's made the passing game work, too.
Ihani Owezike has replaced Aronde Gadsden in the lineup. This is Bernie Parmalee, and Parmalee out over the 25. So with this game pretty well in hand for the Denver Broncos, they can look ahead to the winner of tomorrow's game between Jacksonville and the New York Jets. Now, Denver didn't play the Jets this season. However, they did beat Jacksonville here at Mile High. They led the Jaguars 27-10 at halftime and won at 37-24.
Yeah, we were here for that game. You know, a lot of people want to know who matches up well against the Broncos, who could have the chance.
Marino throws far side and a big hit put on Bernie Parmalee out there by Darius Johnson.
I think at tomorrow's game, I think the Jaguars are going to, they give the Jets some matchup problems, things they like to do, and vice versa. I think the New York Jets passing game could be a problem for the Jacksonville defense. But when you look at Denver, what you got to do, we said it, Greg, you got to score points, and the way you score them against this team is throwing the football. That's how you can make the plays. Their run defense is very good. That's the difference between their defense last year and this year. They can stop the running game now.
Marino's throw is complete to McDuffie. Clock continues to move, coming up on 8 minutes to play in the game.
And of course, anytime you travel and you got to start throwing the football a lot of things can happen. Pressure the quarterback, a tip ball, all these things, they create turnovers when you have to throw the football too much.
Complete. Lamar Thomas, the intended receiver. Ray Crockett broke it up.
You know, we were talking about this Denver defense, and boy, you know, Mike Shanahan, we kind of were talking about it earlier, Greg. He said when they lost those 2 games, if you read the papers and listened to people, that they were going to have no chance to go into the playoffs now and have success. You know, because my players, they felt like, man, we must be the worst team there is out there. And he says, it really did my team a lot of good. We got more focused. It made them mad. We got hungry again. And we've really seen that today, the effect of all those things.
On 2nd and 10, the pass into the flat, complete and out of bounds to Parmalee.
And of course, yeah. Bill Romanowski making that tackle. I mean, he just does everything. He rushes the quarterback well when he blitzes. He has the speed at linebacker to cover people out of the backfield and tight ends down the field, and he is a terrific tackler once he zeroes in on the ball carrier.
Third and 8. Quick pass. Lamar Thomas. Got about 6 on the play.
You see Alfred Williams, number 91, coming from where he was, rushing the passer. He saw the quick screen, turned around, and you know, we say this a lot of times too. That's the difference in this league now, and it was 5 years ago. When you're running down the field as a receiver, if you hesitate, you better brace yourself, because some defensive lineman is going to be chasing you from behind, looking to clean up on you.
4th and 2. And movement again. Everybody on the field with a yellow flag throws it.
You know what is happening? The center, Tim Ruddy, is looking through his legs. Then he comes up. The defense flinches, and that's why they're jumping.
False start, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That's John Buck.
You know, I mean, and that is illegal. You're not allowed to make motions to try to draw the other team or make the offensive lineman, you know, jump off sides or move. And, you know, the defensive lineman of the Denver Broncos, they got a great key. If you watch the center, he looks between his legs, and then when he looks back up, it's like he looks up, ball is snapped. Watch Tim running. Now look, get his head up, snap the ball.
The far side, Pritchett has first down yardage across midfield.
Well, that's a good job by Stanley Pritchett. That's one guy. Greg Robinson right there, defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, been under a little heat because of this Bronco defense. Has been giving up some yards the last few games of the season. Energetic. Been talked about getting interviewed for a few head jobs that are open around the NFL.
There are a few. Marino over the middle, intercepted. Darius Johnson out of bounds inside the 15.
Dan Marino never saw Darius Johnson. He's to the quarterback's left. He's standing there. Nobody comes out for him to cover. So when he sees Dan Marino look to the right, he starts moving and makes a fine catch for the interception. Watch from behind. Darius Johnson's over here. Nobody to cover. There he is. Boy, he reacts to the ball, and Dan Marino, that's what you want from your defensive players. That's what they talked about in Miami. We were there. We didn't make the plays. Today, and every time there's a play to be made, they are taking advantage of it.
50 yards on the return by Johnson.
Boy, he's making his presence known today. Darius Johnson's had a terrific game. There's 3 turnovers. Most of the time, people say, well, if we didn't turn over, we'd win. You know, turnovers are most of the time caused by the other team. You're getting out-hit, outplayed. That's why you turn the football over.
Derek Lavelle close to the 10.
I mean, you look at the Denver Broncos. They haven't turned it over. I mean, because they're winning the battles up front. They are out-hitting the Miami Dolphins. And when you're out-hitting the other team, you're not going to turn it over, and you catch the other team off guard, make them fumble or throw the interception.
Bubby Brister has come onto the field to replace John Elway. Lavelle cuts it back to the 5 and close to a first down.
You know, it's nice. Mike Shanahan pulling John Elway out 4 minutes or over 4.5 minutes to go in the game, and he wants his crowd to show all the appreciation they can show to this quarterback, just in case it's the last run with the Denver Broncos.
Bubby Brister, meanwhile, stepped in and performed well in place of Elway on a couple of occasions this season when Elway was injured.
Well, Greg, he performed very well, and I've asked Mike Shanahan many times about it. He says it didn't surprise me. The guy practices well every single day, and when he gets a chance to play, he comes in and does a good job.
Denver victory today means the Broncos will host the AFC Championship game next Sunday against the winner of tomorrow's Jacksonville, New York Jets game. It will begin at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and it will get underway with the NFL Today at 3:30 Eastern time here on CBS. Brister looking for the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Well, it looks close. I would almost think if he doesn't get the first down here, they're going to run it again on 4th down. You know, Greg, you were talking about Bubby Brister came in, did such a good job and performed so well, and I think a lot of people thought, well, you know, when John Elway's down, this won't be the same team. But you find out when you got a good football team, that backup quarterback, when he has some talent, which Bubby Brister does, they can come in a short period of time and really keep things going. You don't really lose a lot.
4th and less than a yard, and Bubby Brister is going to commandeer a 4th down attempt here.
And if you're sitting at home thinking, well, they rubbing it in, no, this is really like what you're supposed to do. You don't kick the field goal. You go ahead and run it in. You let the defensive know.
Brister dives for the first down.
Well, that was a good jump by Bubby Brister. I used to hate the quarterback sneak for a couple of reasons. I couldn't jump like that. And John Elway's told us many times, you know, you take some of the worst hits when you do that quarterback sneak. But watch Bubby Brister gets the ball, gathers himself, and skies over the top.
Bubby got some air under him.
Got some air, that's right. You know, he's got a lot of emotion to him. Don't let him score a touchdown by keeping the ball or something like that. He'll celebrate.
1st and goal. He's going to dive it again. You know, Bubby's looking to be a little sore in the morning.
I think he's going to be. I mean, I didn't mean to laugh, but I almost swear I could hear him go, ooh, because this time he jumps over the pile and he gets ripped. Watch the hit come to Zach Thomas. I think they might have to think again here. Of course, Jimmy Johnson, Dan Marino. You think your team is getting better. You know what this really shows you? The Miami Dolphins or any team in this situation, we got a lot of work to do. There's another level we got to climb, and we got to do it in a short period of time. Either new players and working harder before next year comes.
And Brister takes the knee, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. This Miami defense allowed an NFL low 16.6 points a game. Today the Broncos have put 38 on the board. 2 minutes to play here in Denver, and we'll be right back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin. And by Gillette Mach 3, the first triple blade razor.
Welcome back to Denver.
Who did you do that against? See, I don't know. I bet you they won.
I like it when you go out on a limb.
I do, yeah. I just like to take chances in life. I'm a gambler.
While we have the opportunity, we'll remind you the executive producer of CBS Sports is Terry Ewert. The coordinating director of the NFL on CBS is Larry Cavallina. The producer of today's game is Mark Wolf. Senior producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. And the NFL Today is directed by Bob Matina. The associate director of our game here today is Ross Schneiderman. Our associate producers, Chris Svensson, Peter Rogaris, and broadcast associate Steve Karasik and Greg Freeman. Great performers, one and all.
Did I hear the word coordination and Larry Cavallina together?
In the same
man
sentence. Let me see that list again. Yeah. I've aired before. "16 playoff games, only the second time Dan Marino has failed to throw a touchdown pass on."
Well, he still had a good day. I thought he threw the ball very well. He just needed more help. You know, they're in a lot of adverse situations, but I think we can see when you watch Dan Marino on the field that he is going to come back and play. And just like this year, I thought he had a good year with the Miami Dolphins. As the team matured, he got better. He threw the ball exceptionally well, and he can be a productive quarterback again next year.
Damon Heward and the Dolphins are going to run the clock out by taking a knee.
You know, I want to give a little credit to one of our cameramen today, George Rothweiler. He did the job. He must have got down on the ground to shoot John Elway's hands, and he caught that little twitch or rubbing of the fingers. There he is. We know he's known to everybody right here as the Hulk.
Of course, down on the ground is familiar territory for him.
Yeah. But that was really a terrific job of spotting something.
and to our entire crew as well for its usual outstanding coverage.
Absolutely.
This ball game is over. Elway and Marino, Johnson and Shanahan meeting in midfield. The Broncos will host the AFC Championship game here next Sunday. For Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, I'm Greg Gumbel, and that's it from Denver. Once again, our final score, the Broncos 38 and Miami 3. Stay tuned now for the American General postgame show. Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, Mike Lombardi, and Steeler coach Bill Cowher will have analysis of today's Miami-Denver game and postgame interviews. And then Vern Lundquist and Randy Cross will preview tomorrow's divisional playoff game between Jacksonville and the New York Jets. John Elway won this battle and avenged a 10-point loss at Miami 19 days ago. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, America's most watched network.